Sabrina, is you there? Hey, welcome. How are you? How you doing? How's everybody doing? Hello, hello. How are you doing, the local? How you doing this afternoon? Hello. Hello, everybody. Hi, Sabrina. How are you? Thanks for stopping in, girl. How you doing? I was wondering where you was at. It's about to start thundering here. Ooh, so hot. So how you doing, Sabrina? That's good. Today we're going to talk about raising kids, raising children. That seems to be so hard for some people these days. Was it hard for you to raise your children, Sabrina? Was it hard for you to raise your children? Because that seems like it's pretty hard today, these days, to be raising children. I think I had a hard time mostly raising. I'm amazing here for you. Okay. Okay, no, but was it hard for you to raise kids though when you were growing up, when your kids was growing up? I thought boys was a little hard to me to raise than girls. What do you think? No, I was the mother and the father. Oh, so was I. Yep, so was I. Yeah, and that makes it hard when you got to be the mother and the father. Yep, that makes it really hard. Yep. Everybody on live today, so we'll see who gonna come. Yeah, that makes it hard when you got to be the mother and the father to raise a child. But what I do miss, I miss Mike being around to help with me. Yeah, so yeah, raising children can be a handful sometimes. But I thought the worst was raising boys are kind of hard to raise. I think so, more than girl. Boys need their father because they don't think they are grown. Yep, that's true. They do. They need their father. But you know what? If you don't have a father around, you still can raise them by yourself. You don't really need a man to raise children. But some people do because they think that I guess with the son you should have a father around. I guess that would make a lot of sense. Yeah, raise a kid. Yeah, it would, but it would make a lot of sense to raise children. Yeah, raising kids can be hectic at times, but then again, it's not bad. It's not too bad. Not too bad at all. I know I had a hard time when it come to raising boys because boys want to go out there and do whatever they want to do. They don't want to listen. So that's the bad part about raising young boys. Yeah, but I did it. I did. I think I did an awesome job. So did you. You did a good job too, Sabrina. You didn't have a hard time raising your son. Yeah, and you did an awesome job with Sabrina. I mean, with what her name? With Sharice also. So that was good to know. Raising kids can be a piece of work if you don't take the time out with your kids. Yeah, so we all need to learn when it's coming to raising kids. I learned you got to have a good. Wait a minute, hold on a minute. Hold on, Sabrina, don't leave. What you say, Sabrina? Right, absolutely, that's true. I need to put this phone somewhere else. Speaker. It's not working over there. Wait a minute. This mess. Okay. Okay, yeah, raising kids, it can be this can be really hectic if we don't put our mind to. But I know not to get older and wiser. Yep, you got to get older and wiser. If you don't, you'll lose yourself trying to raise a child. Yep, you do. You have to get older and wiser in it. Yep, so I learned, yeah, from my mistakes. But I didn't really make many mistakes raising my kids. I think I did a real good job raising my sons and my daughter. They're all doing something, you know. My son, he's a manager, and the other one's a manager also. So I did a pretty good job on raising them. Sometimes it got hard, but I did it. And I did an amazing job trying to keep them on track and stuff. You know, it's hard when you're trying to keep a child on track. Aw, yeah, that's true, Sabrina. We gotta learn to help our do what we can for our kids. I mean, because especially these young mothers growing up, they're gonna need a lot of help because some mothers out here, younger mothers, they don't have the guidance from the man to help them, so they out there raising young boys by themselves. So that's hard itself. I think so. Raising young men, yeah, that can be a little hard on us. Yeah, so we gotta do what we can do. Do the best thing we can do, I guess, to try to raise our children the right way. It's a lot of people going live today. I thought I would get on just for a few minutes and get off. Yeah, so yeah, we got to be the best person we can be when it comes to raising our kids. Because kids can get out of hand so easily. Question. Ah, thank you, Sabrina. Thank you. I know. Hey, how are you? Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, I try to do the best I can do. I'm trying to do good with this stuff. It's kind of hard to try to do this, but I'm doing it. I think I'm gonna use this other phone to go live because these. Wait a minute, hold on a second. Let me turn this phone away. So I think I'm gonna use this one. Hold on. Put this. I hope y'all can hear me. I can't even see me. Wait a minute. Hold on. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, you can't even see nobody. Hold on a minute. I'm back. Oh, thank you for stopping in to say hi. Hello, little. Hello, how are you today? What is that noise? Oh, that's good. That's good to know. I'm doing awesome myself. We're just talking about raising children. That's all. You know, why how it can be so hard to raise children, especially when there's boys. Good morning. I'm talking about good morning. Good afternoon. I'm still thinking I'm doing a morning live. No, it's afternoon now. I'm so used to doing morning lives. How are you today? That's good. Right, Sabrina. You did awesome raising your children. You did. You did a good job. Yes, you did. Can't complain. You did good. Oh, your mom. Okay. So yeah, we're talking about raising children and how they growing up to be. But they both been good. That's good, Sabrina. That's good. We gotta stay on our kids because if we don't, they will grow up and to be what we don't want them to be. So we gotta stay on them. This phone is horrible. Yeah, we gotta stay on our kids and make sure they do the right thing no matter what. Because there's so many kids out there falling short because they done the wrong stuff in life. So yeah, we gotta stay on our kids much as possible. Whatever we do, we gotta stay on them. Yes, we do. Yeah, we do. Because they're falling short in life on so much stuff they shouldn't even be doing. So we gotta stay on them. But I'm hoping everybody having an awesome day today. My day is I'm doing all right, I guess. Because the first time you give a kid a leeway, they're gonna do whatever they want to do then. So we gotta stay on them no matter what it seems like. Yeah, because kids are they something else these days. They are. Yeah, they are. Mm-mm-mm. We gotta stay on them much as possible. Yes, we do. So what's going on, Sabrina, for you with your day today? Doing anything special? Um, yeah. Doing anything special today, Sabrina? Yeah. So we have to make sure we stay on our kids. Make sure do they do. Good morning, good afternoon, the underrated darkness. Thanks for stopping in. You see them all messed up. I'm saying good morning when it's afternoon. We're talking about raising kids, underrated darkness. We're talking about raising kids, seeing how hard they are sometimes, raising especially boys. Boys are very hard to raise, I think. So I didn't really have a hard time, but when you don't have a man around, you have kind of like a hard time raising kids, especially boys. What happened, Sabrina? Why you put the question mark? Oh, foster kids. Foster kids is always a good thing to do. I had foster kids. I raised so many foster kids. It was ridiculous. I had at least about. Um, oh, about foster kids? I had a lot of foster kids. I had at least about 7 foster kids in my home, and I done raised everybody kids. I mean, so many kids, and I didn't have a hard time raising them. It was pretty good, decent. Yeah, so I didn't have a hard time. I did a pretty good job raising my children. Yeah. Do I want any more kids? No, thank you. I'm done. The kid called the lady at McDonald's. What kid you talking about, Sabrina? You was a foster parent too, underrated darkness. Did you like it? And how long was your foster parent? I was a foster parent for 15 years. What foster kid you talking about, Sabrina? I don't know what you're talking about. Which one? Well, that was good, underrated doctor. How many kids did you have in your house? I had, when I was a foster parent, I had 7 kids. I mean, I had 3 kids at one time, but altogether I had about 20 kids, or maybe more. I did it for like 15 years, and I raised one little boy from 3 months old until he got like 5, and then he went back home to his mother. That was back in Ohio, though. Yeah. But Sabrina, what foster kid is you talking about? What foster kid is you talking about? Did you go to sleep on me, girl? Hello, Sabrina. I still, I don't remember that. I do not remember that. I'm still trying to figure that out. I don't know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. Wow. A few times when I was living with her. Oh, when you was living in New York, okay. Oh, that was yesterday, Sabrina? Okay. Oh, when you was living in New York, okay. So did you like doing that underrated darkness? How did you enjoy it? It is hot in my house. It is hot. Oh, okay. When I was going through it, I don't believe a black man could be a foster parent. So it was something like political. Oh, okay. I think a black man can be a foster parent. Anybody can be a foster parent. Yeah, anybody can. Especially when I was going to classes. Oh, okay. I did it for 15 years. And it was pretty good. It wasn't bad. I think anybody can be it, but you have to have patience. When being a foster parent, yeah, that's true. Being a foster parent, you have to have a patience. If you don't have patience, you can't be no foster parent. Mm-mm. Yeah, being any type of parent, even just a parent of you with your own kids. If you don't have patience with your kids, you can't be no foster parent. Everybody can't be a foster parent. So yeah, you gotta have patience when it comes to that, because that's a hard job. Even being a parent, yeah. So I had a lot of patience. I still have a lot of patience. I didn't lose that. Yeah, it's a hard job. Being a foster parent is very hard. Being a parent is very hard. You have to have knowledge to be a parent. You have to know what you're doing when being a parent, because if you don't, your kids are going to mock you. What I mean by mocking you, whatever you do, if you don't want them to do, you better not do it, because kids mock you these days. These kids growing up now is something else. They are something else. I'm telling you. So we got to know what we're doing when it comes to our children. Dealing with her family, they don't want me to in the house, so I didn't have a support, but I was there for the kids. You know, and that's wonderful, underrated. That was good. Wow. Mm-mm. Dealing with, okay. Oh, wow. They want me in the house. Oh, I can understand that. That can be something else right there. Yeah. Yeah, we gotta, it's hard. Yeah, so I had Caucasian kids in my home. I had Chinese kids in my home, and I had African American also. So I didn't never have a problem with dealing with other the parents of the kids. So yeah, when you bring kids with you, how they are like in their ways are different. You try to change them. Right? You can't. You sometimes you know what, Sabrina. Sometimes you can't redirect the kids because they're gonna do what they want to do no matter what. They don't care what you say. These kids these days growing up, they don't care what you say. Yeah, yeah. And you have to when you bring in a foster child in your mouth, life, you got to let them know your rules, but sometimes they don't want to follow your rules. They want to do their own rules. You know, they want to set their own rules. That's why I never got older foster kids, because that's the way they were. See, you like the older foster kids. I didn't want the older ones in my house. It seems like sometimes I was alone, but I did enjoy the experience to help a child, but it takes a community at times. I did it. Oh, okay, yeah, that's true. Sometimes it does seem like you're on your own when you do that. It does, especially from the bigger ones, right? I think that they can just take over. You know, some kids think they can take over when they're in your home. They think they can take over. Some of the kids do. But you have to be the bigger person and let them know, you know, you're in control of this. You the one run this household, not them. Because if you don't, these kids will take over your home when they come in your home. Not even just foster kids. Your kids, if you let them, they'll take over your home. Yeah, they'll take over. Underrated. I know where you're coming from though, because kids will take over your home. They will, if you let them. You got to be the bigger person out of it though, and let them know, it ain't happening. They try to come to your home and be right, Sabrina. They try to come to your home and be, you're right, you're right. But we have to be the bigger ones and stop them from doing all that. Don't be doing me like that. That's what I would say. Yeah, I done had them all. I done had children lie on me, say I did this and say I did that. So I done had a lot of children in my home and said a lot of crazy stuff. So I know how it is. Yeah, it can be a real experience. And most of the meetings I was invited to, and it wasn't on. I know, underrated. I do agree with you on that. I do agree with you on that. I mean, I done had a lot of bad experience being a foster parent, and I also had a lot of good experience. It taught me a lot. But then difference between your kids and other kids, there's a difference. There is, because your kids know the rules, and you bring a foster kid in your home, they act like they don't know the rules, and even if you tell them the rules, they still don't want to follow you, because you take your kids. Right, right, Sabrina. So we have to know that, because just because we bring a kid in our home, they're not going to follow our rules. And even if we tell them our rules, they're still not going to do it. And foster kids, some of them lie, some of them lie, but I had a couple that lied. Then I had a couple of wonderful kids also in my home. They all wasn't that type of way lying, but you know, I had a lot that did that though. So yeah, you have to learn though when you have foster kids, because they will lie on you in a heartbeat. They don't care. They don't care. They will lie and try to get you in trouble. That's what foster kids usually do. They try to get the parent in trouble. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's a mess. We have to learn when we have kids in our home, kids from somewhere else. We have to learn that even though they're not our kids, we still have to set down our rules. Let them know our rules. Because dealing with kids are not easy. Not even your own kids. Yeah, so when if you by yourself dealing with them, it's still not easy. Yeah. But I didn't. I did a pretty good job. I can say my kids turned out pretty good, and I thank God for that. You know, my daughter, she turned out good. My son, yeah. So everybody did pretty good. It's just that when I brought other kids in my home, it caused my kids to act some type of way. They didn't want me to do foster care for a while. It was hard on them. I think so, to try to do foster care, but they got used to it. You know, being a foster parent, sometimes break up your family, the real family. You know, when you dealing with foster kids, sometimes a child has that you get got to take him to visits and appointments, trying to break with them. Right, you right, underrated. With their lies, and they lie. You know, that's what I was trying to tell Sabrina. Sometimes you get a child in your home, they do lie on you. Especially these foster kids, they lie a lot and say you did this and did that. And sometimes when they get around their counselor, they sit up and lie on you too about different things. You know, so yeah, I know how it is. I've been through a lot with these kids. Foster kids, their problems at home, and now they're yours because you have yes, right. You have to steer them in the right direction, Sabrina. And sometimes when you steer them in the right direction, they don't want to follow that. They don't want to hear nothing you got to say. Because if you say something that they don't like, they're gonna lie on you until you didn't, you know. So yeah. But being a foster parent is rewarding. Yes, it is. Being a foster parent is very rewarding because it teaches you, um, it teaches you how to be more patient with your own children too. Because being a foster parent, you have to be patient, not only with your kids and theirs too. And you try not to be different with a foster parent when they come to your house. Mostly people, they don't know how to. It's kind of hard to try to be the same with your kids and a foster parent because foster kids because you try to give them the same treatment, but sometimes it's hard to do that. But you want to do that anyway because kids get the wrong ideas sometimes about things. Sometimes the old parents tell kids. Yes, amen. Underrated. Sometimes both of the parents tell the kids to lie on their foster parents so they can get their kids back, but they don't understand. That's just putting a kid in a worse situation than they think they were in. And sometimes you have to play the role when you have foster kids, especially around the parent, because the parent is so they tell so much about, oh, she don't look up the part or he doesn't look up the part. You know, when I took my kids, my foster kids, when I took foster kids in, I made sure they were up to par just like my kids was. I make sure I dressed them nice just like my kids. I didn't want them to say, oh well, she got this more than I did, even though those were my kids. I should have been able to do what I want to do when it comes to my kids. You know how it is. And then you have to be careful. You don't allow other kids to corrupt your own. Right. And that's what happens. You get with these foster kids, they corrupt your kids. Yep. They corrupt your kid's mind and your kids start acting out. Your biological kids start acting up because they done been around a foster child and they looking at the way they act and they want to try to act that way too. So you gotta understand, raising kids are difficult, but if you got the patience, you can do it. Anybody can raise kids, but it takes a real special person to be a real parent, a real mother, a real father. Everybody is not a real mother or a real father when it comes to their kids, and that takes a lot when it comes to a child. Kids are a lot, and we got to know these things. I mean, kids don't come easy, so that's why I don't understand why people out here having children and that don't know how to raise them. You have to know how to raise the children when you have them. A kid is here for a reason, so if we got a kid here, we have to learn how to raise them the proper way. You know, and it's not too many people know how to do that, but they got to learn that. That's something we got to learn about children. Children just not a piece of paper. They're a gift from the Lord. So if we're here raising the children, we have to know how to raise them properly. And that goes with foster kids too. You raise some foster kids, but you got to raise them like you raised yours. Yes, foster kids don't want to listen to you, but that's just the way it is. It works. Yeah, it does work. It works. It works. Yeah, it works. Yeah. Underrated. I heard you say something, but I'm gonna look into that as soon as I get offline because it keep taking you off. Just keep taking your message off for some strange reason. I don't know. I don't know if you said something wrong or not, but it just take it off on its own. Family, if you and your husband and your wife, boyfriend and girlfriend, you want to be foster parents, both of y'all have to be on the same page, right? You both have to be on the same page because maybe it could be that the man wants to be a foster parent and not the woman, and sometimes it be the wife wants to be the foster parent and not the husband. So you guys have to be on the same page, especially when you're raising kids. And you got to understand, a foster parent will try the parents. They'll say they'll ask this the foster mom something, and if the foster dad said no, you know how kids do. They try each other. So you guys, you're right. You have to be on the same page when you're raising a foster child in your home. If not, they're gonna try you to both of you at the same time. So we gotta know what to say when it comes to foster kids. They're a mess. I can tell you they are. It's a mess. Yeah, we gotta know what we're doing when it comes to foster kids. They can be it can be very challenging, and I think they're very challenging anyway. Yeah, raising a child challenging itself. But I do thank the Lord that I was able to raise my children with no problems. I mean, sometimes you have a lot of problems when you're raising kids, because you think you raise them the way you want them to be raised, and then they come out so much better. They have to be able to take care of them, and I don't understand. I don't understand how I have the kids, but take care of them, because if it was I'm public assistant, they would think twice. Amen, Sabrina. They will think twice about that. You're right. I know I've been through it. All nights I'll be out because I feel I was not being respected, especially being lived on work together, being put. Oh wow, underrated. Yeah, it's a mess. I'm telling you, kids are a mess. The kids are a mess. I was not being respectful, especially being lied to. Lied on work together, very important. Wow. Mm-mm-mm. Before having multiple jobs, multiple kids. Yeah. That's why now today, if I knew what I knew yesterday, I would have never got foster kids. But now I don't want to get into that field anymore, because it's very stressful too, having foster kids. Yeah, it's very stressful. If you have foster kids, you better think twice about them. But that's a great career job, or whatever you want to take it as, to do, to get to know kids and get to know what type of kids you're dealing with. So yeah, kids can be kids can be a lot of problems. Yeah, they can. We just gotta know who we're dealing with at all times. A kid will hurt your feelings, and you just it's so much. You have to know the people that is will work with you, and even as couples, very important. Very important. Underrated. That is very important, and that's the problem. We don't know. We don't know who we get, and when you got foster kids, it's bad that you can't pick the kid that you want. You have to get what they give you. I mean, you can pick the age group or whatever that, but the child, that they don't give you all the information. When you get a foster child, they don't give you all the information. They give you the information they think that you need. I had a fire starter in my house, and they didn't tell me he was a fire starter, but he played with matches and start fires. I didn't know that. If I knew that ahead of time, I would have never got him. Hey, how are you? Thanks for joining, lady. Yeah, if I knew he was a fire starter, there's no way I would have got him in my home. I don't do that. I try to get kid that's right for my family. Then I had a little girl in my house smear feces on my wall. I didn't know she. Thank you so much, SS. If I knew she did that, I would have never got a person like that in my home. See, they don't tell you. They tell you what they want to tell you. They don't tell you what you need to know about a kid. They just want to get that kid out their house, out their place. I had one foster kid back in, they should have attended. But I'm glad that he's doing okay at times. Oh, that's so wonderful. He can turn out to be okay under darkness. Just asking you, I was stressful. They were sneaky. Oh, foster kids can be very sneaky. You're right. How are you doing today, SS fam? Thanks for joining. Yeah, they can be very sneaky. And they play with your intelligence if they could. Foster kids play with your intelligence. They do if they can. They'll play with them. SS fam, are you going on today? If you guys don't have SS fam, y'all need to get her. Shout out to SS fam. I love her channel. Love it. Love her channel. Hey Frank. Hey. Oh, you are. I'm glad. I'm gonna have to be there. If anybody don't have SS fam, make sure you get her. Love her. She's great. Amazing. That girl is awesome. Man, I love her. Yeah, she is good. How you doing today, Frank? How's Frank doing today? Oh, that's good. Do you have SS fam? If you're not, go get her. She's cool. Yes, she is. That girl is good. Oh, you got her? Oh my goodness. If you want to go, if you're trying to reach a goal, go to her room. I'm trying to tell you, her channel is the bomb. That's one of my favorite ones. Yeah. Here we go. Thank you, SS fam. We were talking, Frank. We were talking about foster kids, having them in your home, and just kids in general. You know, do you remember that when they put the kids when they wait visit with you before you locate? Right, right. I remember. And we were talking about raising children and raising foster kids. I was telling them I had so many foster kids in my home, but you got to understand when you have foster kids in your home, they're not like your kids, so you have to learn to deal with your kids and their kids. And sometimes your kids are getting jealous because you have foster kids because they act out. I had a hard time when I was raising boys because boys, I think boys are much harder than girls. Oh my goodness, and honor. Aw, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we have to understand that it's a process when you're raising children. When you're raising children, you have to learn you have to know how to raise children. Everybody a mother doesn't know how to raise children. Everybody a father doesn't know how to raise children. So just because you're a parent doesn't make you a real good parent to raise children. There's parents out there is falling short every day. So yeah, so we have to know what we're doing. They call right, right, right. You're right, Sabrina. Black man, if you wanted to be foster parent, it's going to be hard if you live with a significant, on the other hand, significant working parent. Right, you're right, underrated. That's absolutely true. Yeah, but I think it is a little hard to for men to get foster. I'm just going to be my experience and what I well, you know what, you might be true. That might be true. It's a couple other people said the same thing you said, underrated. So you're not telling no lie. You're telling the truth. And sometimes it's hard for women to get them too, because women go through a lot. I'm raising foster kids also. Like I said, I had that 3 month in my house, and I raised him till he was like 5 years old, and then he lied on me and told his mom I was hitting him and stuff like that. And then they had, then they do the investigating and make sure you didn't do none of that stuff. And once you get the kids back, you don't even want them back in your house because they lied. And then the little boy finally told the lady, "Oh, she didn't do that to me. She's not that type of person." But why would you say that about me? And then I didn't even want him back in my home. They wanted me to take him back, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm not going to be my own experience and what I see." Right? Yeah, seriously, SS fam. The little boy lied on me. I had him in my house since he was 3 months old. And then it was time for him to go. Then before it was time for him to go home, his caseworker used to come out to the house, and he told the caseworker I beat him. So they had to take him out my home and to investigate to make sure if it was true or not. They found out it wasn't true. Then they wanted to bring him back in my home. I said, "Oh no, I don't want him now. You lied on me and said all those things." He said, "I was just." He told them that it wasn't true. So I didn't take him back. I let him go because I feel if I'm taking care of you in my home, there's no need for you to be lying. But that's what they did. Yeah, that's crazy, Frankie. Right? It's so much going on. Yeah, I feel two people is hard, especially the ones working agencies. Some of them. Yeah, you know what? Hey, Wisdom. Hey, thanks for stopping in again. You know what the underrated and you know what? Being a foster parent, they don't value your job. If you have a job, they want you to go regardless. You better take off, or you better have somebody to take that child to the doctor, or you better have somebody to take that child to school. If not, you better find somebody because or you're going to lose your job behind a child. I had a child, when I was working, I had a child always getting in trouble at the place. Every time I turned around, that child was getting in trouble at the school. I had to go leave my job and go to the school. I say, this is getting to be too much. And you got to, and when you get a babysitter through foster care, you got to make sure that child, the babysitter, is through foster care. You can't get an aunt or cousin to watch the child because they don't want you to do that. So it was a mess. They have to learn to appreciate good home. Yes, they have to learn to appreciate good home, but they don't. So yeah, when you're doing foster care, make sure you know what you're doing. Even when you're raising your own kids, make sure you know what you're doing. And when you put your kids with a foster parent, foster child, make sure that child is that kid is not poisoning your child mind because when you get your child and a foster child together, sometimes that foster child poison your kid now, and that's bad. That's a lot of. It is a lot of work. SS fam, it is. You have 5 kids, Wisdom. They all, oh wow. So is it working out okay for you, Wisdom? Wow. Yeah, you have to know what you're doing. It is foster parenting is a lot of work. Like I told them, I had a lot of foster kids in my home, and I just had two lied on me, the little boy and the 7-year-old. But other than that, I had a lot of them in my home, and I didn't have that problem no more. After a while, yeah, yeah, there's something else. Wow, and you got to keep them busy. Get to take them out. Go, yeah, you have to keep you right. You have to keep them busy. And you have to take them places, and you also have to give them allowance. You can't get a foster kid and you don't give them allowance because they'll tell if you don't give them allowance, and it have to be like $20 or 10. Yeah, so you have to give them allowance. They want their allowance, and if you don't, when the caseworker come over, they're gonna make sure they tell. So you got to make sure you giving allowances. It's a lot you have to do when you're dealing with a foster kid. Yes, I did it. I'm okay with it now. Yeah, yeah. It can be something. It can be really really rough at times. But if you don't have the patience, you can't be a foster parent. You have to treat those kids like you treat your own. And sometimes you say to yourself, "Wow, why do I have to treat these kids like my own?" Because you want to do that. You want to treat your kids like you treat the foster kids, even though sometimes if you feel like you shouldn't have to, but you have to. Because if you don't, that foster child will feel very, very unwanted in your home. And you don't want a child to feel like that, even though they taking you through so much. Foster kids are good. Um, some are good. Yes, some are good and some are bad. You're right, because I had a lot of good ones and I had like two bad ones in my home. Yeah, they are good. That's a wonderful job to do, but you have to have patience when you deal with foster kids. You have to be careful with the teen. Oh my goodness, underrated. I didn't take teenagers. I took one teenager a long, long time ago. That child was getting smart, getting smart. Man, I was like, boy, you better be glad you're not my child. I'll spank your butt. See, you can't. One thing about foster kids, they know you can't whoop them, so they're gonna talk smart and be disrespectful. So you have to know when you're dealing with older kids too. They very smart, Alex. I had one sneak out the house on me. I was like, oh my goodness. So yeah, you got to know what you're dealing with when you're dealing with teenagers, because those are the worst ones, the teenagers. They would tell you off if they could. They would tell you off if you could. So I don't deal with the teenagers. I'd rather have the younger ones. I used to get ones from like 3 months on to like 7, and I didn't get them no older than that. Yeah, absolutely yes. Yeah, that's fam. That was something else, girl. It been a mess. Wisdom, do you have SS fam? If not, you need to get her. She is wonderful. My daughter had a foster child. She was a my daughter couldn't deal with it. Wow, that's horrible. Mm-mm-mm. You wouldn't be able to cope SS? Oh, I'm glad you got her, Wisdom, because she going on live today. And if you want to reach your goal, go in her live. Now, I mean, she is real and she's very welcoming. And I like to go to people lives that's welcoming. I don't so that's I like her. I really do. Yes, she is strong. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Yes, that girl is good. Agency didn't test. That was the agency was bad. Wow. What agency did she go through, Sabrina? So have they will play on the instant. Wow. You right about that, underrated. You are so right. They don't care. As long as you got their kid, they don't care about nothing else. It's this calling me. No, they don't care about nothing like that. Men go through this tough process. Yeah, men do. They do. Oh, you love her. Me too, Wisdom. Me too. That's my girl. I love that girl. I ain't even met her, and her spirit is nice. You know how you can talk to somebody, or you can see a person, you're like, oh, she got a good spirit. Just by listening to them talk, she got a good spirit. She do. She is wonderful, and she'll stay on for like 3 hours or so. Oh my goodness, she is awesome. I like her. The same agency. Oh wow. Yeah. Well, I understand underrated how you feel about the men get it the hardest they do, but women do too. Cause I did. I'm trying to tell you, I had it hard. I did. And then after I did that with this little three month old when he turned 5, after he did that, he begged me to come back. He's not coming back in my house. I'm I'm fine. How are the kids and husband? Too, because I had my fair share and I know how it is. Please don't tell me this thing is acting up. I was about to act up. She just slash called me grandma. I like that little. Aww, just like the little boy I had in my house. He was calling me mom, and his mother got mad because he called me mom. I didn't tell him to call me mom. She just did it. Hello, thanks for stopping in. The little boy just did it on his own. And don't let your, let me tell you something, having a foster parent, don't let that child call you something different. Like if, okay, they didn't call me by my name, they called me mom because they heard my kids call me that. So I was trying to tell the lady, well, your child calling me that because he hears my child. She said, well, you need to tell him to stop. You need to, I was like, you know what? Ain't that true, Dr. Ray? Yeah. So the little boy called me that because I raised him. He was 3 months old when he came in my home. And he heard my kids saying mom, so he started saying mom. So when we took him to visit his mom, and he was like, oh, mom, oh, we're going to see mommy. I say, and I used to tell him, no, that's not my, I said, you need to call me Miss Patricia. He was like, oh, no, no, you my mom. So when we went to see his mom, she got mad because he called me Trisha. I mean, he called me mom other than Trisha. And he was upset. She was upset about that. She had an attitude. So she told the caseworker about it. But I never told him. I would never raise somebody else's kid to call me mom when that's not my kid. That's very disrespectful. And I wasn't like that. But oh well, that's I guess that's the way it is sometimes. Yeah. So I had my fair share, and I know how it is. It's a mess when you're out here dealing in society with parents and it's not understanding where you're coming from. So it's hard. And we got to understand when we dealing with parents, we got to be very, very patient with the parents and the kids, because the kids will lie on you in a heartbeat. And when they lie, you be looking crazy because they done lied on you. So I know I've been through it. But the both parents can get mad. They made a mistake. They gave up their child. They always trying to make the foster parent. Yes, they. Oh my goodness. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And you know what? Underrated darkness. They made me feel like I wasn't doing a good job. I mean, I had this little boy dressed. Me, I love clothes. One thing about me, I love looking nice always, and I had my kids looking good always. So since my kids was looking good, and this child was in my home, I made sure that child was gonna look good too. But they thought maybe that I was doing the child wrong when I wasn't. Yeah, So yeah, yeah. It's crazy. Family, I tell you, it's a mess. It's bad. Dealing with kids. Family will have you looking like you making you look crazy, especially somebody else's family. I mean, you didn't have to take the kids, and you know what it is underrated. They feel guilty. What it is, they feeling guilty because you're doing an awesome job with your kids. What they should have been doing a long time with their own kids. So they make you feel like you obligated. You're not obligated. You're doing this because the goodness of your heart. Yes, it's really crazy, SS fam. This really is. Yeah. Yep, I'm gonna stay on here till like 4 o'clock, and then I'm gonna get off. I want to get on for a little bit and get off. I don't stay on long. I can't talk long. I can talk, and then I can't talk too long. Yeah, it's yeah, it's true. We got some crazy people out here in the world. I'm trying to tell you, very very crazy. We have to learn that. Why you go get on it? Yeah, I'm gonna get. I'll probably get on it again probably. There's a lot of people gonna be on today. There's gonna be a lot of people on, and so many people go lives, and like SS fam, I heard her saying, just because I heard her saying this in her live before, just because other people go on, that doesn't mean you don't go on. So usually some people, they be scared to go on because other people go on, but I don't be scared to go on. I just get off. I stay on for a little bit. My time is usually in the morning time. When you get a minute. When you get a minute. What you mean when I get a minute? But I salute you so much. Oh, thank you, the underrated. Yeah, I did it so long, and after that little boy tried that stunt with me, I let it go. I stopped because when a kid hurts you and you done took care of that kid so long, and then they go and tell this person that and that, you like, oh no, I can't do this no more. So when once he told them that he lied to the about me, about saying that I did that to him, he wanted to come back. I no, I couldn't take you back after you lied to me, lied on me, and he was, he wanted to come back. He was in. They put him in another home because I wouldn't take him back after that. No, because I don't know if you're gonna get mad at me again, or I don't know what it was. Why did he lie? But 3:43. Oh, not right now, not yet, Sabrina. After a while. Yeah, but yeah, kids, they will lie on you. Yeah, kids will get you. Let me tell you, some kids will get you in the worst trouble. You just don't know. They are something else. Kids will get you in a lot of trouble. Especially foster kids will get you in trouble. Even your own kids. If a kid don't like, being that kids can't get whooped anymore, boy oh boy, kids will get you in trouble. You spank them, and they mad at you anyway about something, they'll get you in trouble. You gotta understand that. What you get arrested for? This phone just keep on ringing. What you get arrested for? What you almost got arrested for? Oh, on a lie. Wow. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Look at 3:43. What's that 3:43, Sabrina? What are you talking about, girl? Yeah. Kids will try to get you arrested from, they'll say a lot, especially the men. The men got a hard, that's why I don't think, mostly a lot of men, they take the boys. They don't take a lot of girls because teenager girls will lie on men. And I know that happened to a friend of mine, that she lied on him about something. But you know how it is, but it's bad. They said that I hit them, one of them kids with, but I was, all the, what? See how they lie? I'm trying to tell you, underrated, they lie. They don't care how you feel about them. They want to go home, so they're going to lie. Oh, I didn't get it. No. Wow. Nope, not yet. Mm-hmm. Wow. The kids will hold you up in their lives. I'm trying to tell you. So we have to be the bigger person when it comes to our children, even our family itself. Like I said, raising children is really, really hard. So if you're not strong when it comes to kids, raising kids, not even your kids, even foster kids don't do it. You sent a comment at 3:43. What are you talking? What is the comment? And yeah, they test you, Frank. They do. Kids will test you. Yeah, exact underrated. They will ruin what you got at home. If you got a wife or a husband or whatever, they will ruin that because they'll make up lies. Yeah, seriously, they will. They will ruin it. You have to be careful as family. If you ever thinking about getting a foster child, make sure you talk to that kid first and get to know him. And even though you get to know them, they still do that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I was doing it for a very long time, and I could not believe that little boy would do me like that. He loved me. I was like, so I know he would go see his mom every week. So I know his mom probably told him to lie. Some of the parents tell their kids to lie so they can get back home, but that's making it hard on the kids, especially since that kid been with me since he was 3 months old. Me and Trisha telling the truth. Yeah, y'all gotta listen. Especially when this kid been with his mom for, I mean, been with me since he was 3 months old. And how would that kid know that say that I did something like that to him? It never happened. He knew it. This little boy really loved me. He called me mom. But see, he's seen his mom every week. By seeing his mom every week, she poisoned his mind. Oh, is she doing? What's she doing to you? You better say she doing this. I kept this little boy haircut. I kept him well groomed because I was that type of person. I like clothes. I like looking nice all the time. So I kept him looking good. Sometimes it's not work, but but also challenging. You right. It is, Sabrina. You are right, girl. You are right. Yeah. So you have to know when it comes to children, what kids to get in your home, and sometimes you can't pick the kid that they bring in your home. Like I said, I had a fire starter in my house. I didn't know he started fires. They didn't tell me that in the paperwork. They give you paperwork and tell you about the child, but it never said nothing about this child start fires. I had a fire starter. I had a child that smeared feces all over my wall, all over my wall. I was like, wow. And you have to wait 30 days to give that child back if you don't want them. So that's what I did because I can't have nobody while I'm sleeping. The fire started in my home. So I had to be up with this child. Yeah. Hi, how are you, Kimberly? Thanks for joining. Yeah, so I have to be up with this child every night to make sure he's not going to start a fire in my house with my family. I remember we had a young girl on Facebook, sad, and we played peace and we what? Underrated. Wow. Um, when the caseworker, when the little boy called me mommy, she didn't say nothing. She didn't pay it no mind. She said she knew he'd been with me since he was 3 months old. So it's nothing he can say. But I didn't. But what I'm trying to tell the mom, I didn't tell him to call me mommy. I never said call me mommy. I said he just was listening to everybody else call me mom. If you have a child since it was a little baby, they're gonna call you what they hear the other person call you. And I can't make him. I always told him no, Miss Trisha, but he would still say mommy, mom, mom. I said, oh my goodness, what am I gonna do when I get around his mom? So when I got around his mom, she was mad at me because she thought I told him to call me mom. I would never, ever in life tell another child to call me mom. You're not my child, and I didn't want that to happen like that, but it happened. Wisdom said, love children generally, they will never forget you. Oh, yes, I do. I love children. I do. And I don't think he would ever never forget me, but I didn't like the way that went because this little boy, he cried to come back to my home. He said, I lied, okay, I lied. And he was 5. But I just didn't want him to, I didn't want to get him back in my home and he started doing that again. Well, he listened to what his parents said and he said that. So that kind of made me feel some type of way, you know. So that's why I say I'm not going to get him back in my home. I'm going to leave him where he's at and, you know, go from there. It's horrible. You feel horrible when a child lie to you, lie on you. It's horrible. You deal with yes, right. Listen to underrated wisdom. It's you deal with. Let me tell you something. I had Caucasian kids in my home. I had Chinese kids in my home. I had African American children in my home, of course. But all of them I dealt with. And Chinese kids, I couldn't keep the little girl long because I didn't speak her language, and she spoke a little bit of my language, but she didn't speak a lot. So I kept her in my home for like 15 days, and they took her out and put her in a Chinese family because she had to be somewhere where they can speak her language. But she spoke a little bit of my language, but not much. So that wouldn't work for me. She had to speak my language to be in my home. So I kept her for 15 days in my home, and I took very good care of her. She didn't want to leave, but I mean, I would feel out of place. I'm talking to my kids, and she didn't understand what we were saying, so, you know, she left. What does the worker say to you if you need the comment? I sent to people. Love your comment. I love your what? I sent to people. I love your. Oh, you love my other comment? What happened here? Hold on a minute. This phone about to hang up on me. Okay, hold on. Hold on a second. I didn't even know this thing was about to die. Okay. I am a pediatrician. I know a lot about children. Yeah, that's good. That's good. The children will get you in trouble, but like me, I love children. I always love kids, and I always will. I work with kids every day, and I know how it is. And you cannot let him have cell phones and other things because they could speak and call. Yep, that's right. And I tried to keep those type of things from. I had a 7 year old. I would give him his phone like when he do something good in school, but he wanted to keep his phone all night. I told him you cannot keep your phone all night. That's not gonna work. I said I gotta look at it, Sabrina. I can't. I gotta look at it. I'll go back and look. I mean, this phone rings constantly. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look, Sabrina, because I'm down the line. I'm gonna look again at your comment. Let me see. Because I'm going as I read, and then when I pass it up, I just, yeah. So it's, ooh, it's a lot dealing with children. So we have to learn when we raising our kids, we got to raise our kids correctly. Because kids these days growing up to be all types of ways. They don't care. They growing up that they don't care about what's going on in life. They're growing up killing each other, killing siblings, and I mean families, mothers and parents are not even there for their kids. They out doing drugs or doing things they ain't got no business doing. That's why some of the kids grow up to be the way they are. I'm not going to blame it all on drugs. There's other reasons too, but majority of the kids are really raising themselves. It could be rewarding. Yes, it could be very rewarding beyond the rage darkness. Your kids are growing up raising themselves. And we don't want our kids to raise themselves. These kids are here for a reason. If we brought these kids here, yeah, right, Sabrina? Yeah. If we brought these kids in this world, we have to raise these kids, do our best to our ability to raise them. If you brought them in this world, that's your responsibility to raise them. And everybody don't think that way, but we need to think that way. Kids are here. We're going to bring them here. We're going to raise them correctly. No matter what type of foster kid we get in our home, we still want to raise our kids the right way. And mostly kids these days are not raised the right way because they're doing everything. They're selling drugs, there's games, they're out there cussing their parents out. You got to keep them out of, you got to keep them out of the streets. You're right, Sabrina. So many children are in the streets. And then you go look for their parents, they're nowhere to be found. They're nowhere to be found, and you wonder why. I had a little girl in my home, probably, probably a while ago. She would bring boys through my window. She would have people come through my window and come over. And that really made me mad. You don't bring nobody through my window. I don't know none of these people that come through my window. She was 16. She would bring people in through my window. I was really, you have to be stern with them, and especially you got to have doors and open windows, sleep. Yeah, right. I had to put an alarm on my windows because this girl kept having people going in, but I only had her for like a couple of weeks because I guess the foster parent was trying to get a break from her, so they brought her here. But she was having guys come through my window, so I had to put alarms on my window so she wouldn't do that. I'm not going to have nobody in my home that I have to put something over my window and do everything to my house because of a child want to come over and do what they want to do. And she not only had one boy, she had two boys in the house. So I had to, we had to fill out a report and call the police and do all this stuff. And it's so much work when you're dealing with foster kids, so I enjoyed it though. I did foster kid parenting for a very, very long time. And I enjoyed I enjoyed it. It was very challenging, but I enjoyed every bit of it. But like I said, if you're married, you got to make sure you and your wife or you and your husband are on the same page, because if you're not, a foster child will mess up your life altogether. Okay, thank you, Wisdom from coming. You have a wonderful day. Enjoy church, honey. Great subject today. Thank you, Sabrina. Yeah, so we gotta know who to have in our lives, because all these kids here these days, they will destroy your life. I know. My heart was destroyed when that little boy said that about me. But finally we got it together, and he still wanted to come back, and I said no, that's a no go. It could be a reward in just working together. That's the amen. They're underrated. We have to work together when it comes to foster kids, because if we don't, they're gonna destroy us. They're gonna destroy, not just destroy you. They're gonna destroy your home. Yeah. Thank you for coming. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for letting them know, SS fan. You are amazing. I love her. Oh my goodness. This girl is the bomb. Yeah. See, I'm still learning how to do this live stuff. I'm trying to get good at it, but sometimes I don't know. I'm still learning. I've been doing it for a minute, but I get so nervous sometimes, Yeah, but yeah. You welcome, you underrated. Yeah. So yeah, we got to learn this stuff. We got to learn to be patient, and especially it takes a lot of patience when it comes to being a foster parent and a parent. Everybody can be a parent, but it takes a special person to be a mother. You know, everybody can be a parent. Anybody, a little kid can be a parent, but you have to be very, very special. Somebody that the Lord sent from above to be a real mother. You know what I mean, Sabrina? Yeah. Anybody can be a parent. A 13-year-old can be a parent, but that don't mean she's a real mother. A real mother cherish her kids. A real mother take good care of her kids. A real mother teach the kids about the Bible. A real mother do the things that they're supposed to do. Right, Frank? Yeah. So anybody can say, "Oh, I'm a mom." Oh, yeah, you're a mother, but are you a real mom? Are you a special mother? Somebody that the Lord sent from up above to raise the kids the correct way? Everybody don't know how to raise their kids because they're a mother. There's a lot of mothers out here supposed to be a parent, but they're not. So we have to learn when you're a parent, you got to do the right thing and teach your kids the right thing. Teach your kids about the Bible. Teach your kids how to learn, how to talk to each other, respect each other, respect other an adult. There's a lot of kids don't respect adults because they're not taught that. When you're not taught to speak respect an adult, you're not gonna respect an adult. You're gonna talk any type of way to him because you see the mother talking that way. A child is gonna mock you. They're gonna mock the way you do. If they see you disrespecting people, they're gonna do the same thing because that's the way they see their parent do. A kid's gonna look at you. They're gonna mock everything you do, especially a woman, a girl growing up. Facts, thank you. A foster parent have to take on a lot. Yes, they do. They have to take on so much. Yeah, I'm right, family. Yeah. When you being a parent, you better know how to be a real parent. Everybody is not a parent now. They can be a parent, but they can't be a real mother. It takes a lot to be a real mother. So there's a lot of young people out here having children don't know the really meaning of having children. You have to be there, especially when you have girls. You have to be there for girls. Just because you both are a child doesn't make you. Amen, Sabrina. Amen. There's little kids having kids. Now, how are they going to know how raising their kids and they're little having them? 12 and 13 years old. Come on. Where's the parenting at? So we got to learn to be there for our kids and let them know that, I'm here for you if you need me and you want to talk. There's a lot of parents don't talk to their kids. That's why some of the kids do the things that they do because the parents are not there for them. So we call those type of kids attention seekers because they go out there and get attention from somebody else because the parent is not teaching them what they need to be teaching them at home. So they go get attention. Maybe they get attention from older men, or maybe the man get attention from older women because they wasn't taught to be a real man when they were growing up. So they want to go find somebody else to comfort them. So we don't want our kids to grow up like that. We want to grow up and let our kids understand that respect yourself. And the only way they're going to respect themselves, we got to tell our kids that, teach that to our kids. A kid is not going to know that unless you teach them. Kids are not going to know anything if you're not going to teach them. That's why kids are growing up doing everything because they're not taught right. You have to teach a kid the way you want them to be. And when they get older, they won't go up. They won't leave that. Yeah, if you teach a kid what you want them to, how you want them to be, they'll grow older and they won't part from that. They'll stay that way. Father has got to be gone. Yeah, you're right. The father have to do because it's always on the mother's on the darkness. They have to worry about this, and it should be if it's a two-person in the family, a mother and a father, you both have to take control of the kid. That's not just the mother. The father has to be in the two. It just shouldn't be the mother. It shouldn't be all on the mother. And you're right about that, underrated. It takes two when it comes to family. It shouldn't be all on the mother, especially when the mother has sons around. A son would try a mother because there's no man around. So we got to understand that also. Both men. Right. Yeah. Yeah, it really hurts. It really hurts bad. So yeah, when you're raising a kid, make sure you know how to raise them. When you're raising foster kids, make sure you know how to raise them. Yeah, you're going to have rules. You have to let the foster kids know that you have rules, and these are the rules you're going to follow. All kids don't want to follow rules, but you got to let them know, if you're in my house, these are the rules you're going to follow, honey. This is the way it goes. So yeah, you got to let them know that ahead of time. Because if not, they're going to grow up and think they can do what they want to do to you. And you don't want that to happen in your life. Yeah, so I'm going to get off in about 5 minutes. I just want to come and talk to you guys for a minute. because I got to learn how to do some lives in the afternoon. Yeah. I want to catch up on everybody else's lives. I don't go to everybody's lives anyway. It's just I'm very particular about who lives I go to. Yeah, so yeah, 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 so yeah. But I'm definitely gonna get on SS Fam. That girl is the bomb. Oh my goodness, she is. Hey, yeah, so yeah. We get to learn to love one another and just treat our kids the way we want to be treated. It was one that we used to be everything together, and child do not want to go back to. But that's how it be sometime, underrated, especially when you be so good to that parent. And the parent, I mean, to that child, and the parent be so jealous because the child say they don't want to go back. And it's like that you making them do that. You're not making them do that. They're doing that because they want to. So I know how you feel. I know what you mean to. But you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get offline. I thank each and every one of you guys for coming, and I'm gonna go and get myself together and get on some more lives. And I just want to talk a little bit to get some more of my hours. I heard up the child was holding my right to me. Wow, underrated. I'm sorry to hear that. You're welcome, underrated. I think each and every one of you guys. I'm gonna come back and maybe another time and do another live. I want to catch up on some more live. Maybe like SS Fam live. I'm hoping she hurry up and go live. Thank you so much, Frank, too, from coming. Thank you, everybody, from joining. Sabrina, you are awesome. Thank you so much. You are amazing. That is my best friend, you guys. Her name is Sabrina. She's always there for me, and I thank her so much, you know. So, you guys have a wonderful day, and thanks again for coming, and just stay blessed. Oh, you guys are awesome. Yeah, you are. Okay, I'm about to get offline. Bye, everybody.